Having understood the difference between stock and supply, we shall proceed now to understand the classification of supply. So we can classify supply on the basis of time element. On the basis of time element, we can classify supply as market period supply, short period supply, and long period supply. Market period supply, that's the first category. It refers to the current supply. That means the time period is very short for the producer to bring about any changes in the quantity supplied. So whatever is there in the go down in the stock, that only he can bring it to the retail shops and have it supplied. So market period supply refers to a very short span of time during which the producer cannot adjust supply according to the market needs. Whatever is there in the stock, only that much he can bring it to the market. Coming to the short period supply refers to a time period which is little longer than the market period, but it is also a short period, but during which the producer can bring about changes in the quantity supplied to a certain extent. It is not so rigid as market period supply, because market period supply is very short span. For example, it could be just like a week or just 3 to 4 days. But short period supply, you can visualize it to be something like a month's time. So within a month, if there is a demand in the market and if the producer would like to undertake one more production cycle, or he wants to run the factory in the double shift, he can undertake one more production cycle and have more quantity supplied in the market. Alright, so under short period supply, the producer can hire more labor in order to run the factory in the double shift and order for more raw material. These are the only changes that he can bring about during short period. And long period supply is very long time period available with the producer in order to bring about changes to supply as per the market requirements. So if tomorrow the market is looking forward for some innovative product or some changes in the style, fashion, so anything can be changed during a very long time period, because under such a situation, the producer can probably adopt a sophisticated technology. He can set up another factory setup and bring about changes in the supply as per the market requirements. So this is classification of supply based on time element. We now come to the next classification of supply, which is individual supply and market supply. Now don't get confused. This is market supply, but that one was market period supply. Market period supply refers to the supply which is classified on the basis of time element, and individual and market supply are being classified on the basis of number of producers involved. So naturally, individual supply will mean that supply by a single producer. So the same definition will follow for individual supply, which is quantity of a commodity that a single or an individual producer would like to offer for sale at a particular price at a particular period of time. And market supply would refer to the total supply or the quantity of a commodity that all the producers in the market are willing to offer for sale at a certain price. That means here I would like to bring to your notice a new concept known as industry and firm. So market supply is the total supply by all the producers. So a producer, we can give a synonym, or it is the same as saying a firm, a one single production unit. So here I am bringing to you the difference between industry and a firm. A firm is a single individual producer, and all the producers manufacturing the same type of commodity together will make up an industry. So one industry for one product, and such an industry will comprise of all the firms or all the producers who manufacture the same commodity. Take example of shoes. So when I say shoe industry, it will comprise of Nike, Adidas, Puma, Reebok, and so on. So all such brands of shoes will be a single firm supplying shoes in the market, and the total supply by all such firms will make a market supply. It is also called as aggregate supply. Having understood individual and market supply, I will show you individual supply schedule and market supply schedule. When I say schedule, what comes in your mind? Something like a tabular data. So in case of individual supply schedule and market supply schedule, we would be plotting various quantities that the producer is willing to offer for sale at various different prices at a given period of time. So it's a comprehensive tabular data which is plotted for individual producer, like in case of individual supply schedule, and if it's a market supply schedule, various prices are given and various firms quantity which the producer is willing to offer for sale at those various prices will be plotted. So I'll show you the schedule for individual supply. It is something like this, where the header has to be written in the same format, which is full title has to be written. If you cut short even one word out of it, price per unit of a commodity X rupees, you can take hypothetical values. Quantity of a commodity X supplied by producer A, and in units 50 and 60. Students see to it that the price is rising and the quantity is rising, because we are in supply chapter. We are not in demand chapter. Students sometimes confuse demand chapter to be supply chapter, and in demand schedule they write both going up and both going down, and in case of supply schedule they write it opposite way and in the inverse relationship. Don't get confused in the exam due to time factor, as students are struggling to finish the paper. Don't get confused. So now I shall show you the individual supply curve. Just as in case of individual demand, we had plotted quantity demanded along the x-axis and price along the y-axis. Similarly, we are going to do it here. So as we have seen in this schedule that 10 and 50 and 20 and 60, so we'll be plotting 10 and 20 price along the y-axis and 50 and 60 as quantity just make a dot wherever 10 and 50 is matching and 20 and 60 is there, and then join the dots by drawing a line. Alright, so you can see the difference in the curve. In case of demand, we had a downward sloping curve, which was, I taught you that it was a negatively sloping curve. Now, what is this negatively sloping curve? What is this downward sloping? What is this upward sloping? What is this positively sloping? One moment, I'll make it very clear to you that in case of economics, when you're learning economics, you have to describe the shape of the curve. So the shape of the curve is described in terms of flatter, steeper, parallel to x-axis, parallel to y-axis, or inverted U, or something of that sort. And here it is upward sloping. It could be sometimes downward sloping. It could be sometimes positively sloping. It could be negatively sloping. So these are the various ways in which we describe a curve. This is going upward. Okay, so any curve which slopes upward from left to right is called a positively sloping curve. Why positively sloping curve? Because there is a direct relationship between the price of the commodity and the quantity supplied, as both go hand in hand. the supply curve moves upward, which is positively sloping. But in case of demand, it was not so. When price increased, demand fell, and therefore you got a inverse relationship, and therefore you got a downward sloping curve, which was called as negatively sloping curve. So this is a positively sloping curve. All right. Now we shall take up the market supply. In case of market supply, you have to draw two separate diagrams for firm A and firm B, or producer A and producer B, and then the third one is for market supply. So I draw it here as so as you can see, I've plotted three different graphs. I'll write here firm A, firm B, and market supply. Now I'll take the same prices 10 and 20. And you have to draw a line passing through all this price, which is common to all the three diagrams. So 10 will be connected to this 10. And further 20 will be connected to 20. You have to extend the 10 and 20 line to the third curve, which is the market supply curve. Now supposing the firm A is demanding 50 and 60, which is here, so you get a upward sloping curve. The firm B is demanding 30 and 40, so you get it here. So it is something like this. So this is 50 and 60, this is 30 and 40. So we have to make an addition of the quantity supplied by A and B at price 10. So 50, 60, 30, 40. So 50 plus 30, 80. So 80 will be way beyond over here, and 60 plus 40 is 100. So you can see that along the x-axis for the market supply curve, we plot the values of quantity supplied, which go way to the right of along the x-axis, and we get a flatter supply curve. The reason for the market supply curve to be flatter is that the quantity is large, and with a small change in price, the quantity supplied changes to a larger extent because of many firms together make up market supply. So the first two diagrams, the supply curve is near to the x and y axis. In the third market supply diagram, the supply curve is going away from the x and y axis, because the quantity supplied is very sensitive to changes in price. So it becomes more flatter. Here we stop. We shall see you in the next session of supply.